conflict between Israel and Hamas has been ongoing for over 50 days without any signs of stopping. While war is never desirable, Israel's involvement in this conflict has led many countries to view them unfavorably. However, the Bible's perspective on this war is truly astonishing. It accurately foretold the events of this war long ago, despite skepticism. No matter what people think of this prophecy, devoted believers understand that the Bible is truthful. But what could be so alarming that the Bible had already predicted? Does this suggest that peace will remain elusive in the near future? Is it true that this war is necessary for the prophesied arrival of the Messiah? Israel, once a barren and desolate land, has transformed into a fruitful paradise, just as foretold in the Old Testament. Zechariah's prophecy in Zechariah 8:12 painted a vivid picture of abundance, with seeds sprouting, vines yielding fruit, and crops blossoming. How did Israel overcome the challenges posed by its arid climate and limited water resources? Through technological advancements in ingenious agricultural practices, of course. Israel has become a global leader in agricultural technology, employing fancy irrigation systems like drip irrigation to maximize crop yields while minimizing water usage. The country has also developed drought-resistant crops and varieties that require less water, contributing to increased productivity and water conservation. And let's not forget about water management strategies. Desalination, the process of turning seawater into usable water, has helped address water scarcity. Additionally, land reclamation projects and soil improvement techniques have transformed unproductive areas into fertile agricultural land. It's like witnessing the fulfillment of prophecy right before our eyes. Now let's talk about the reconstruction of the Third Temple. According to various passages in the Bible, including Ezekiel and Daniel, there are prophecies about the glorious restoration of this magnificent structure. Ezekiel had a divine vision where he received precise measurements, design details, and the sheer grandeur of the future temple in chapters 40 to 48. Daniel also mentioned the desecration and subsequent restoration of a future temple. Of course, the reconstruction of the Third Temple holds great religious significance for both Jews and Christians. For Jews, it represents returning to spiritual completeness and fulfilling biblical prophecies. Some even believe that the coming of the Messiah will coincide with the rebuilding of the temple, symbolizing redemption and ultimate peace. On the other hand, interpretations among Christians vary. The New Testament teaches that believers themselves are temples, with the indwelling of the Holy Spirit. So, some Christians may view the need for a physical Third Temple differently. However, there are some challenges and debates surrounding the construction of the Third Temple. The Temple Mount in Jerusalem, where the previous temples once stood, and where the proposed Third Temple would be located, holds immense religious significance for both Jews and Muslims. This has led to political implications and potential tensions between the two communities. Despite these challenges, the Jewish community has remained resilient and made preparations for the Third Temple. The Temple Institute in Jerusalem has been dedicated to studying and preparing for the temple's eventual reconstruction. They've been researching and recreating the sacred vessels and instruments necessary for temple service. Who knows, maybe one day we'll witness the fulfillment of this prophecy and marvel at the beauty and significance of the Third Temple. The Temple Institute has been hard at work recreating various elements from the ancient Jewish texts. They've successfully crafted a replica of the golden menorah, the beautiful seven-branched candelabrum used in the Second Temple. But that's not all. They've also constructed a replica of the golden altar, where incense was burned, and the table of showbread, which held 12 loaves representing the 12 tribes of Israel. To ensure adherence to purification rituals, they've even created a copper laver, a ceremonial washing basin used by priests. One crucial aspect of the preparations involves the red heifer, a flawless cow needed for purification rituals before the construction of the Third Temple. The Temple Institute, along with various organizations and individuals, has put dedicated efforts into breeding red heifers that meet the specific biblical requirements. But here's the mind-blowing part. The Temple Institute recently reenacted the water libation ceremony as it was performed in ancient times. Led by esteemed rabbis and the Institute's founder, the event took place in Jerusalem's Old City, starting at the Dung Gate. Can you imagine priests and Levites dressed in their mandated biblical garments, carrying musical instruments and unique clothing, setting the scene for an unforgettable procession? It really was an amazing spectacle. They marched through the city, singing, dancing, and playing joyful melodies on drums, violins, guitars and clarinets. Along the way they passed archaeological remains, traversed an Arab village, and eventually reached the Shiloh Siloam Spring. During the procession, stops were made, and the sound of 4-foot-long pure silver trumpets added a touch of solemnity to the event. While the reenactment was not open to the public, a select group had the privilege of drawing water from the Shiloh pool, which served as the starting point for pilgrims journeying to Jerusalem for biblical feasts. This water symbolized the drawing of water for the libation. The procession then returned to the mountaintop, where a model altar adorned with leafy willow branches, as was done in temple times, was set up. It became the focal point of celebration, attracting participants from various locations. The ceremony lasted for 15 hours, filled with joy and reverence. These reenactments by the Temple Institute honor historical traditions and rituals associated with the temple. They provide participants with a glimpse into the past and serve as a poignant expression of hope for the future rebuilding of the Third Temple in Jerusalem. Did you know that the establishment of modern Israel was heavily influenced by the persecution of Jews, particularly during the Holocaust, which generated widespread support for a Jewish state? The diaspora of Jewish survivors played a crucial role in Israel's growth, both economically and culturally. The establishment of Israel is also seen as a spiritual reawakening for the Jewish people, fulfilling long-standing biblical prophecies. Jerusalem is regarded as a focal point in God's plan for Israel, with future events and the establishment of God's kingdom on earth intertwined with the city. The religious significance of Jerusalem is deeply ingrained in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Some interpret ancient prophecies as unfolding through the revival of Israel and the potential reconstruction of the Third Temple. God's intervention is the only solution to halt the ongoing Israel-Gaza war. There seems to be no other way for peace to prevail in this situation. Some believe that if Israel continues to exist, the Third Temple is rebuilt, and Jerusalem is reinstated as the capital under the approval of the Almighty God, then Allah and Islam must be false, and Muhammad cannot be the last and greatest prophet. There are those who claim that millions of Muslims would fight to the death to eliminate all Jews, with Muslim leaders allegedly advocating for the killing of Jews followed by Christians. This sentiment aligns with the words of Psalms 83, which states, "They have said, 'Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name Israel may be no more in remembrance.'" The nation of Israel holds a unique position among all nations due to its everlasting covenant with God. Its rebirth against all odds is seen as a testament to God's involvement. The Bible accurately predicted the exile and subsequent return of the Jewish people just before the second coming of Jesus, as documented in Amos 9:14-15, Isaiah 11:11, and Ezekiel 20:34. No other nation has experienced a 19,000-year absence and then returned, reclaiming their original capital, Jerusalem, and reviving an extinct language, Hebrew. In Zechariah 12, the Bible proclaims that God will destroy any nation that opposes Jerusalem. Numerous Bible verses assert that Jerusalem and Israel belong to the Jews. Surprisingly, even the Muslim Quran acknowledges that Israel belongs to the Jews, Quran 7-7. The Bible warns of divine judgment upon nations that attempt to divide the land given to Israel. Genesis 12:3 promises blessings to those who bless Israel and curses to those who curse them, while Obadiah 12:3 suggests that the actions taken against Israel will ultimately return upon the perpetrators. An example of this divine retribution can be seen when Afghanistan expressed its desire to destroy Israel and subsequently experienced 2 significant earthquakes with a devastating death toll. The recent attack by Hamas on Israel after 50 years of relative peace is considered a significant sign of the end times. These events indicate that the return of Jesus is drawing near. Jerusalem holds immense holiness in the eyes of God, and praying for the peace of Jerusalem is, in essence, praying for the return of Jesus, as true peace will only be achieved upon his return. According to biblical prophecy, Jesus will return with Christians after a 7-year tribulation period to rule for 1,000 years from Jerusalem. When Jesus the Messiah makes his triumphant return, he will bring forth an earthquake that plays a crucial role in defeating God's enemies. Christ will emerge as the ultimate victor, obliterating Israel's foes. The beast, also known as the Antichrist, and the false prophet, don't stand a chance. They are cast into the fiery depths of the lake of fire, sealing their ultimate demise. In the face of such incredible events, one thing remains clear: the outcome of this battle is never in doubt. Christ's victory is certain, and Israel's enemies will face destruction.